Alright Reddit, what is your spookiest or most unexplainable event that has ever happened to you? Serious. Had visitors and their kids liked my room because it had a massive bed that they could play. We thought they were there because they were noisy. One of the mothers was about to tell them to be quiet when all kids came inside from the backyard asking for snacks. The noise from my bedroom was gone and we asked the kids if they've been in my room. They said no because they were told not to by someone. They didn't elaborate on who that someone was. I was at a friend's farm walking down the road, talking to the owner. I told her of a story my brother told me of seeing a large flash when he was there last. We laughed a little. And then there was a huge flash that lit up the whole valley. I saw it as a tunnel. There were 5 of us there that saw it. Yeah, it was a bit odd. Americans of Reddit, what is something the rest of the world needs to hear? Animals in Yellowstone will kill you. Edit. Thank you everyone for the gifts. Water should always be free at restaurants. Solo cups come in a variety of colors. You can ski and surf on the same day in California. No, in the South, we do not all have alligators in our backyards. If someone tells you otherwise, they're lying. There are no alligators in Ba Sing Se. Still, water and public bathrooms should be free around the world. The US doesn't do a lot of things right, but we generally have free water fountains and public bathrooms in most places. How do we protect our sons from becoming incels? Dad, can I borrow $100? Is it to buy a katana sword and fedora? Yes. No son. No, you can't. I won't name names, but when I see and listen to some of the famous incels, not just the mass killer ones, they are average or above appearance, they are average or above intelligence, but their personality is dirt. Stuck in their heads. Creepy as all. I think raising our sons to have a broad personality with many interests and hobbies would go a long way to stop incels. Tell them not to ask Reddit when in need of serious life advice. Keep them off of Reddit. You're not going to get serious response here. I feel like not allowing them to cocoon themselves in their own room and walling themselves off from society is a good start. If you encourage them to be free to go out whenever and spend a lot of time outside with friends, then they should be fine. People who ride ridiculously loud motorcycles on purpose. Why? Only slightly related, but back in the 1970s I think my uncle from New Zealand used to ride bikes and all the neighbors were worried because one, it was a loud bike, but were happily surprised to see him walking the bike down the street before starting it and riding away. They all thought it was so he would not disturb them early in the morning. When in reality the bike would not start on its own and would need to be jump-started, and he needed to get some speed up before starting it. I'm far more interested in hearing from people who accidentally ride ridiculously loud motorcycles. Their story should be a doozy. We were looking for houses last year, and we found the perfect house. We loved it. Walked outside to get back in the car and noticed about 50 Harleys outside of an establishment across the way. We both looked at each other and said, nope, dodge such a bullet. There's a South Park episode that addresses this question. What do you count as a masterpiece? Movie, TV, book, act? Why? Tetris. Why? Because it has literally zero fat on it. You couldn't even try improve upon it, you just add more fat to it. I love a complex, mind-blowing masterpiece. But nothing gets me more than a oh my god, this is so simple. And yet incredible. Holes. It may sound silly, but literally everything ties together, no matter how small the detail. Portal 2 video game. The first was groundbreaking, but the sequel took the basic idea and just ran wild with it. The mechanics of the game, complemented by the story and the writing, was top-notch. Absolute masterclass in video game production. What do you do after you first wake up? Try to go back to sleep. 1. Denial 2. Bargaining 3. Anger 4. Depression 5. Acceptance. Grab a brush and put a little makeup. Piss. Literally fart. A big one. You even made a new thread to keep me from figuring out you were an octopus. Drink water. Start stretching. I've got bad RA and I'm always hella stiff in the morning. I have to stretch for at least 20 minutes before I can even have a piss. Scream into my pillow. Press the snooze button. Roll around in bed for 30 minutes and then join my morning Zoom meeting just in the nick of time. Who the fuck is giving gold to everyone? 1. Tumble out of bed. 2. Stumble to kitchen. 3. Pour cup of ambition. 4. Yawn. 5. Stretch. 6. Come to life. Groan and roll around. Wish I hadn't. Rub my balls. Immediately ask my dog if he was a good boy in his dreams. Get a coffee. Fall back asleep. What is a minor inconvenience that instantly pisses you off? When I go to a web page but it doesn't load all at once, so when you go to click something the page shifts as other things load in and you end up clicking the wrong thing. Forgot password? Enters new password. New password cannot be the same as old password. When someone steals my GD pen. It's on my keyboard for a reason. I'm looking at you, William. When you bite your tongue or cheek while eating and then suddenly that one particular spot becomes like a magnet attracting your teeth to it and you keep biting it. Ads in the middle of videos. Ads that block the paragraph I just started reading. Ads that are made to look like normal content. Ads. People standing in doorways, especially people standing in groups having conversations in doorways. Get the hell out of the way already. People's lack of awareness of others really astounds me. When a ballpoint pen doesn't work when it clearly has ink in it. It has one job. What is something people brag about that signals a red flag? I worked with a guy who bragged about being in prison for most of his life, and somehow everyone was stupid to him. Most people I've come across that boast about being good people are actually massive pieces of shit when their entire lives revolve around banging. How easily they can manipulate people, or how good they are at lying. Story toppers. I don't know if this makes sense, but when someone tries to one-up your struggles, it's not only annoying but a huge red flag. If I said I didn't get a lot of sleep, they would be like, "Oh, that's crazy. I got 5 seconds of sleep while I was being dangled over a fireproof alligator pit filled with lava from a fishing line." It just shows that they will literally never be there for you and make every conversation about themselves. Money. Any actual rich person will usually rather try to be more low-key to avoid people using them. What is something that happens to all of us but no one ever talks about it? Intrusive thoughts. Them bastards really be annoying. Our own births, don't get me wrong, I am very thankful that we don't. Definitely getting old. I'm 53 and it's starting to show in my face and neck lol, but when I look in the mirror I don't recognize myself because in my mind I'm still in my 30s. It also makes me realize that my 74-year-old mother probably feels the same way. That moment when it truly hits home that you're not young anymore and there's nothing you can do to stop the decline. Our parents dying. I went through it at a young age and most of my peers looked at me like I was an alien. Like, bro, this is gonna be you one day lol. That feeling you get when you remember something terribly embarrassing that happened to you a long time ago with vivid detail. Constantly reliving and regretting an awkward interaction with a stranger you never saw again. What is the worst candy? They were fun, but waxed lips. They were big, red, and made out of wax. Some even had vampire teeth. You guys know those fake MMS that come in those candy canes? God, I hate those things. The off-brand Walgreens brand chocolate you get around Easter. It tastes chalky and like it was sweetened with Splenda. When they changed the Crunch Bar recipe, that was a crime against humanity. My mom dips black licorice in baking soda. Any candy that says extreme sour and then is disappointingly not extremely sour. Burn a hole in my cheek or stop bragging. Candy bag. Maybe not the worst, but a candy I used to love was Butterfinger. Then they changed the recipe. And it is terrible now. I'll see it in the checkout line at the grocery store and just be sad because it used to be so good. Pamler chocolate tastes like chalk and the only reason we sell it is cause the margins are insane. What is the worst thing about being fat? It puts lots of strain on your skeleton. I used to be fat. The one thing I don't miss is feeling self-conscious whenever I had a t-shirt on and doing the whole pull it away from your stomach thing. The fact that you put your whole life on hold, telling yourself that you will resume living when you lose the weight. Then not being consistent with said weight loss journey and basically never getting to truly live. Clothing. Simple things like cutting your toenails become a process. Summer. I live in a hot country, Greece, and when I was obese I was suffering during summer, which is like 6 months here, sweating like a pig all the time. Also a quote which I found very accurate. Being obese is like being an addict, but your addiction is extremely obvious for everyone to see. People are making assumptions about your character and judge you before they even exchange a word with you, and you have to fight to change this perception. This gets really tiring. What keeps you from going insane? Surrendering to the present in order to detach from past pains and future uncertainties. I'm okay. I'm reasonably happy from time to time. I have people that care about me. I've done some stuff that gives me fond memories, and will do more stuff that gives me fond memories. Nothing is as bad as my brain might sometimes think it is. And I have some pretty bad shit in my life. There's always tomorrow. I'd miss Canadian Fall. I've learned a lot. Would be a shame for it to go to waste without making all that knowledge more useful somehow. People don't want me to go insane. Nothing, I've gone insane. Antidepressants. My light bright and my dog. Literally music. If I didn't have music I think I would have killed someone by now. I guess the meds work a bit in therapy, and I have 2 kids who I love very much. Cat pictures on the internet. What's something you used to cheap out on until you tried the expensive version and could never come back? Work boots. Headphones. I used to burn through a cheap pair every few months until I got a nice pair. Not only is the sound better, but they have lasted me years with the replaceable parts. Bread. I flew Spirit Airlines once. Olive oil. Bras. Italian deli opened near me. Parmesan, burrata and guanciale to die for. Lots of other great stuff in there too. Shoes. So many people in my life have told me to not spend money on shoes when I can. Buy the same thing at Walmart for $20. I finally started buying some more expensive shoes in my mid-20s, and I found that they're more comfortable and last way longer than the $20 Walmart alternatives. If you have the money, invest in a good pair of shoes. Toilet paper. This thread is going to bankrupt me. What's the biggest mistake you've watched someone make in their personal life? One of my best friends walked out on his wife and 2 kids because a girl at the gym and him were having a relationship. As it actually turned out, she was just being friendly and chatting to him. No relationship, no mutual decision to be together, nothing. He misunderstood polite friendliness for flirting, and destroyed his own family for it. Single mother of 3 living in poverty. Gave her parents her $6,000 tax refund to hold on to because she didn't want her abusive ex to convince her to split it with him. Parents spent it all in weeks. My friend chose to have a child with a man who had cheated on her multiple times, while still in high school. Have a child with someone who fights them on their parenting style. Also cheated on my friend who was 8 months pregnant. They just got married too. What's the biggest scam in today's society? Textbook access codes that you get after buying a new textbook and can use only once. Annual raises are lower than annual inflation. In Canada, at least, cable internet sell prices. Eastlink is purposely messing up my older model system to try and get me to upgrade. My TV and internet is $187 a month. This is ridiculous. Cell phone isn't even included in that. Added since this is getting attention. Am I crazy? I just started seeing ads for fiber for Eastlink. All of a sudden everything has slowed down drastically. Can't even access on demand, and my channel swapping option just disappeared. Needing a degree for a entry-level low-paying jobs. What's the most gatekeep opinion you hold? As a field geologist who trains new hires, if you aren't comfortable shitting in the woods, you're not a geologist. A lot of people in the comments don't know what gatekeep means. It's not real gatekeeping unless it comes from the Gate region of France. Modern mainstream country isn't country, and if it's all you like then you don't like country. The gate at my workplace is for deliveries only. I think this is gonna end up being one of those sort by controversial type of threads. 3-wheelers and slingshots are not motorcycles. If you want to design tabletop RPGs you need to play more than just D&D. For travelers, if you didn't leave the airport and spend at least 1 day in the country, you didn't visit the place. In the car community the whole respect all builds thing is bullshit. Your clapped out shit box with eBay springs that scrapes over everything and looks like ass doesn't count. I'm not telling you. The rule of Gondor is mine and no others. What's the most totally overrated classic rock artist band? So many people picking 90s bands as classic rock. Thanks for making me feel super old. That one that you like so much. Kiss getting wrecked in the comments. Won't lie, this thread is kinda ruining my morning lol. Kiss, Kiss. They had maybe 3 decent songs and one of them was Beth. They were all about the makeup and stage effects. Not so great music. Man, this thread is making me feel like an idiot for liking Kiss lol. They really helped inspire my guitar playing as a teen like 12 years ago. In this thread Kiss, lots of Kiss. I see this old person who listed Rush in the same category as Kiss has deleted his comment. Good move, Kiss. They got great marketing, but music isn't that amazing. Not bad, just not that good. I think. Which singer is instantly recognized by their vocal, their lyrics, just their voice? Louis Armstrong, Kermit the Frog, Michael Jackson, Johnny Cash, Freddie Mercury, Barry White, Elvis, Janis Joplin. My starter vocalist is Bjork, Tom Waits, Ronnie James Dio, Willie Nelson, Tiny Tim, Dolly Parton, Bob Dylan, Vetus, BLR, Tina Turner, Billy Corgan. My ears bleed a little just thinking about it. Billie Holiday, Dolores O'Riordan, oh god I miss her so damn much. Stevie Nicks, Lane Staley, Tom Jones. It's not unusual to immediately recognize his voice. DMX, Nina Simone, David Bowie, Chris Cornell, Janis Joplin, John Fogerty, Macy Gray, Roy Orbison, Ozzy Osbourne, Leonard Cohen, Cher, Geddy Lee, John Anderson, Axl Rose. Who do you think is the most beautiful actress of all time? Jean Tierney, Monica Bellucci, Grace Kelly, Audrey Hepburn, Kate Beckinsale. She's aged like a vampire elf. Ingrid Bergman in Casablanca. But an argument should be made for Grace Kelly. Then why is Michelle Pfeiffer in songs? Hedy Lamarr, Jennifer Connelly, Angela Bassett. She's somehow 64 and still as stunning as ever. Morena Baccarin, Vivian Leigh, Sophia Loren, Lauren Bacall, Selma Hayek. It's Danny fucking DeVito, Rachel McAdams, Rachel Weisz, Linda Carter, Hedy Lamarr. An actress from the 40s who was stunningly beautiful and also incredibly smart. She was an inventor who pioneered the technology that would eventually form the basis for Wi-Fi, GPS and Bluetooth communication. Diane Lane, Natalie Wood, Elizabeth Montgomery, Jane Seymour, Hart,